What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another video for you guys. Listen, before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It is free to subscribe, share and like the video, and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right, y'all. So this video is another crazy one. This woman in this video literally said out her mouth that her stank coochie saved her. So we're going to get into the video to see what she's talking about. Definitely chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, baby. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. Let's get into the video. Here we go.
And there was one time particularly that I can recall my state when I was doing a dude. I'll never forget that shit. I was, what? Man, listen. It was one time I was in high school. And there was a young man. We had been dibbling and dabbling and talking a little piece. And I had already been doing several dicks. You know what I'm saying? I was in college living, having a ball. I didn't even go to motherfucking class. You know what I'm saying? I went on a date with this boy. We was chilling, you know, whatever with the woo. And this is the second time we linked up. And he obviously wanted to do it. He was anxious about it. It made me feel very weird to the point where I didn't want to. I didn't want to do nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? But we're in his house.
But if you didn't want to do nothing with him, you should have left. Right then and there. If you can say in your mind and you know you can recall in your mind you didn't really want to do anything with him, leave. See, this is where accountability comes in. Leave. If you don't want to do anything with somebody, nobody's forcing you, leave. First thing, let's continue.
A huge bedroom, and he's like coercing me pretty much. He's like guilting me. I got you all the way over here. Like, you for real? Oh my God. Like, the deep breaths, like for hours, like when we was in his room. And it was just so, it frustrated me to the point where I was like, fine.
She said for hours. Why are you there for hours if you don't want to do anything with this person and you know that that's their expectation? Why? She said that was the second time they linked up. Let's continue.
Fine, here, take the take. You know what I'm saying? He gets in, he start doing his do, and he stops. He like, man, what the that smell? And I smelled it too, and I was like, oh my God, that's my coochie. My coochie was hot. Hot, I tell you. A fish fry, respectfully. I didn't know what the BV was, because like I said, I had been doing a lot of dick. I did several. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know about a piece of boric acid. I didn't know about a little piece of anything to make fat mom stop stinking. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing. So by the time he came around, he was like, oh hell no. What the to the point where he got up, he went to his closet in his room, he started spraying air freshener. He's implying like, you know, we can keep going. And I'm like, no, I don't want to keep going. You just said my coochie was the stankiest thing you've ever smelled in your entire life. Why the would I want to keep I'm actually happy that happened. I'm happy that you got stank coochie, because that's what you deserve for begging for it. You begged and now you got what you wanted.
Much.
Now, and keep in mind, he said they could keep going, and she said no. Did he push up on her and make her do it when she said no? No, she didn't say that. She said no, I don't want to keep going, and that's what it was. Keep that in mind. Let's continue.
Much later.
I made a video talking about how I had BV and I didn't know I had BV, and a man, you know, he was trying to do with me and convinced me to do with him, and then I found out I had BV, my coochie was stank. Yeah, I think it's so interesting how the comment section is full of people worried about the fact that I had BV and I didn't know I had BV, my coochie was stank, versus the fact that a man coerced me into sex. So that's all you can focus on. You can't even focus on the fact that, like, that's coercion is.
Shout out to the Queen of Accountability for posting this. Baby, you cannot. Oh my God. Ooh, you cannot make this up. Now, I want to read the definition of coercion. So coercion, the definition is the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. She said, she didn't say he threatened her or forced her, right? Let me give you an example. So an example of coercion is forcing or pressuring someone to do something against their will using threats, intimidation, or manipulation rather than persuasion, with examples including threatening physical harm, to sign a contract, blackmail, or a bully demanding lunch money with threats of violence. It bypasses a person's free choice by creating fear of negative consequences such as job loss, emotional distress, or physical harm. So basically coercion is usually somebody trying to force a physical threat, threatening, you know, demanding something of you. And from what she said, that does not sound like that. But she's saying it sounds like that coercion is great. He did not force himself on her. She was there by her own accord, willingly there. She said there for hours. She could have easily walked away. She didn't say she tried to walk away and he stopped her and he forced her down or he forced himself on her. This is why you have to pay attention to what people say. And because words matter and actions matter as well, you shouldn't just sit here. And she sat there and said all of that, everything done by her own free will. She chose to be there. He didn't force her to stay. She could have left because when she said, okay, you begging, just because she's begging doesn't mean you have to give it to him. You could have got up and left, but you stayed there and you said, all right, just take it. So he didn't take it from you. You gave it to him. You gave him consent to do what he was doing, to the point where you say, oh, well, he got in there. He was doing his thing. You didn't oppose. You didn't scream. You didn't say, oh my God, I don't want to do this. He said, oh my God, what's that smell? You stank, right? And you said, oh my God, I smell it too. Oh my God, this and that. And he had sprayed air fresh. And then he proceeded to ask you, hey, we can keep going. You said no. Did he run over and throw you down and force you down and say, no, I'm going to take the pee? No, he didn't do that. She didn't claim he did that. She stopped. She said no. And he responded and respected her wishes. So no, that is not the same as grape, because he didn't force himself on you. He listened to what he listened to what you said. He followed your request. You said no, and that's what it was. And you had ample amount of time to walk away and get out of there if you really didn't want to do anything. You gave him consent. But this is how, you could get caught in a trick bag fooling with these women, because this is how they go from one thing, basically consent, to, oh my God, he did this to me. No accountability whatsoever. And this is why I believe accountability is so important. Listening and knowing who you're dealing with is important, because a lot of young men get themselves caught up into some tricky situations dealing with women who think this way. When there's no accountability, you could do whatever you want to do. And at any moment when you decide, oh, he took advantage of me, you could just say that and people will just believe you. And they're going to take your side, and that person life can be destroyed because you change your mind after the fact, or you made something up because, oh my God, I feel like it was this, or I feel like it was that. After you've given consent, you've said this was okay. And then when you want to change your mind at will, you can just start crying and change your mind and make it up. And then this person could lose everything that they work for, their livelihood and everything else. It's no wonder why you see a lot of men moving the way they're moving, why they don't really approach women or want to deal with them, because this type of mentality has gotten a lot of men into trouble that they don't need. And no man wants to have his life turned upside down off of a lie, or women who are just in their feelings and mad about a situation. And then they just come at you and make stuff up. No, I wouldn't want my sons to have to deal with that either. That's crazy. So you really have to be cautious. You really y'all gotta stop being thirsty and thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get some cooch from somebody, because they could be crazy and make something on you. And now you got to go through a whole process, to clear your name and keep your livelihood going. Like, it's just a waste of time for a lot of men to have to deal with that type of foolishness. I think it's a dangerous situation, and I think it's a slippery slope to something much worse. But and men recognize that. This is why, there was a study, and I forget where the study was done, but there was an article of a study of how men are choosing not to be in the same room with certain women, with women in the workplace. That men have become more skeptical with working with women. They don't want to be in a room alone with the woman. They're asking for somebody to be there with them at all times. They don't want to be put in a position to be lied on or to be set up by women in the workforce. So they're saying that men are moving in that way. Or some men just don't want to work with women altogether because they don't want to have to be subjected to the type of lies and the things that a lot of these women do when they feel a certain way. So that's crazy. But this is why I say, listen, the focus is always on a man and what he does wrong, but not the women. And these women are just doing all types of crazy stuff. And we're starting to see it more and more and more. And yeah, I think accountability is on its way. We see it happening, and they're getting some type of accountability, but it's not to where it should be just yet. But I think it needs to be, because this is not, causing women and men to unite. It's just causing a further divide. And I think, you know, women have to be held accountable. You can't just go out here just because you're a woman and you have a vagina that you could say and do anything you want and it should be accepted, you know. And I think that's a problem. And I think that's one we have to work on. But listen, I want to know your thoughts on this video. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell. Y'all know what it is. Tell me what you think of what she had to say, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions.